Hi, I'm going to try using ReactJS and vanilla JavaScript. So I'm going to first create an HTML file and let's create it. Then let's do a doc type like this. Then let's create a tag for HTML document, head, title, my ReactJS and HTML, body. Then why am I even doing it like this? I can just say here, there we go. Then let's say my first recording, it's my first recording, and so I'm gonna format the document, and I will add ReactJS library. So here, ReactJS, I'll go to their website, and from there I will take two links that they have. Actually, I'll go to JS Deliver because this is a CDN website, and from here I can get React library. So here I will search for React, and it's not there. There it is. So React, and I'll go here to files. I'll give you the whole file after. So here files, I'll get this one, React development, and I will get React DOM. Search for it. There we go. Files, here UMD, React DOM development. There we go. Now I have them here. Now I'm just gonna do one script tag, and I'll add cross origin because there are reasons. Just add it. I'm also not familiar with them, and I just add it and it just works. Now I must make sure that React development is before React DOM. And now I'm going to create another script tag where my whole code is going to be. Now this is GitHub Copilot. It's giving me some auto-completion. Here I will start live server, and there we go. It opened it here. I'll open DevTools, and I will put them in the bottom. Here, let's make sure that we have both libraries. It auto refreshed, and these three dots, it means they are here. There are some properties on them. That's good. That's good. So first thing, I will render the application, and I will call immediately. So I'll get my root element and will render the application there. So root, actually I feel like calling it like this just because. And actually let's do it like this. So React root render add. Now there we have that first. Now this is called top to bottom programming. Now Copilot is, I will disable it for a while because I don't like it. So create React root. Now I want to create React root. So React DOM, create root, DOM root, and then DOM root. I will create DOM root, and let's call it, I need to get it. So that would be an ID, and I get an ID root. No, that's what I feel like. However, I don't have DOM root here, so I'll just add it here, and that's gonna give me another error. E is not defined, which I can solve by doing this thing. Now I need to create my app here, and I will just create hello world. Now that should give me there we go. Now that should give me that. Then what do I feel like? I feel like I should do some basics first. So what kinds of elements we can do? So if you are familiar with JS6, you would probably do something like this, and you would say something like this, right? You will probably have some code here like this, return, and then you would be like h1 hello world, and that would work. However, when we are using React here, we have to do it like this, hello world. Now that's just the opposite, the parallel of how to use this JS6, and this is React in its pure form. Actually, this gets compiled to this actually. Anyway, let's start with some basics. So first, how would it look like to have something like this, for example? Let's use pure HTML to demonstrate. So here, in pure HTML, let's say if I would like a list, now I would say ul li first, li second, li third. Now how do I do that in React? Here I can say like this, ul null, now just need some space, li null, I'll show you after why there is null, first, li null second, li null third. There we go, I formatted it, and now we have it. Now this here is rendered by React, and this here is the HTML. Now if I inspect element, we can see this is the root, this is inside here, so this list is inside the root, and this list here is actually this here. So how, like here we see the empty HTML, and here we see a list of elements, and here we have React doing some creation, some stuff. And now we are thinking like, if this div here is empty, then what creates it? Well, when people say that React is single page application and they say that it's a lot of JavaScript, I always felt like that was confusing. Like I never could see what do they actually mean. But we can actually oversimplify it, what it actually does. Now, if I say here ID and I say, for example, simulate, let's say simulate root. Now I have here simulate root, here I have root, here I have simulate root, and here I have UL. So what React does on a much more complex level is basically this. So what React actually does is something like this: render simulate root, and below I can just call it like this. Now what it would actually do is something like this: const. Now I would simulate, I want to get my root, DOM root, and I say get document get element by ID. Now I have that. Now I would like to have DOM root append child list. Then I would say I have a list document create element. Well, now we have an ordered list. Then I would do something like this. First, I would say document create element li. Second, document create. Actually, I want to fill it first, so I would say first inner HTML first, and I would say list append child first. Then I say the same for the second one, document create element li, and then I can say second inner HTML second, and then I can say list append child second, and as we see the list is filling up. Then third one, create a third one as well, li, third inner HTML third, list append child third. And there we have it. What React actually does is something like this. So let's see, what do we have? Here we have simulate root, that's div. Here it has an ID, and in here it's empty, and in here it actually has some HTML elements. And here we can also see that this div here is also empty, but it has some elements inside. And here we can see this list here. There is no root above it, there is no element above it, but there is some HTML inside. Going down, we can see that there is render simulate root here, render simulate root, and this is JavaScript function calls some stuff and fills up the element. So that's what React actually does. And moving on, this is really what happens, like how React creates elements, and I'll come to actually creating functions and so on. So now that we have element, what if I would like to create an element with a class name, with an ID or something else? Well, I would do it here, and I could say first item, and this is how you give props. So this is actually parallel to doing this here, first ID first item. So this is actually, if this is JS6 here, then this is actually that. So you would actually have a function in JS6 that's like this function, let's say list, and inside we would probably have something like this there. Here we would have probably an li, oops, first item there. Now if this is JS6, then this is how you do it in vanilla JavaScript. Nice. Now I'm gonna delete this, and I'm just gonna show you actually that there is actually on the first item there is an ID, and on the others there is not. So this here, so, and I'll change it to something else. So my ID whatever, it's gonna change it, my ID whatever. There we go. There we go. So what else? What else? Now let's see some nice other stuff. Let's create a button. That would be nice. Let's create a div, and inside we could do something like this: button, and click me. Now let's do inside console log clicked. Now I'm gonna format it again, and when I click the button I'll see clicked. So if I would like to have some data here, then I could say react use state 0 there, and I could say count set count, and here on click I will say set count previous count plus 1. If we want to rely on the previous state, we have to do it like this. It's a template, so just do it, just remember it. Just remember that when you wanna, because this is not gonna work. Like this here is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna cut it because reasons. So if you want to rely on previous state, give it a callback. And here, click me count plus increase plus count. There. Now when I keep clicking it, it's going to keep increasing it. And there we have a button. Now that we have a button, it would be nice to... There is actually an example in React documentation where you can react to this variable change. But let's do something better. Let's create some styles. Let's say React use effect. Now I want to run this effect. I want to create some styling. I want to put this to the bottom, and let's see. So here we have meta, and title. So here I'm gonna say console log. Actually, let's just do it like this. So document head. Now I want to the head to append child. I've been playing around with this for a while, and let's say document head append child style. Let's say that. Let's say append child style, and before that style, let's say document create element style, and style inner HTML can be styles. And here, if I say styles here, now let's see, let's say a class, maybe, I don't know, let's say red, and let's make it a red color. Let's call it a red. Let's call it that. Now, what would happen if here, this is just an HTML, it's not React, right? But if I say class red, and it changed. Why? Because here there is a class red. with color red. And that's because when React created the list using this function, it called the code inside this use effect, and the code inside use effect has a string that creates some styles and creates an element style, which is an HTML element. We make the styles the content of the style element, and we add them to the document head. That's what happens. Now this code is going to run once. Then what else can I do? Now that would be interesting. Let's say that let's play a bit with forms. Let's play a bit with some form. So if I decide that I would like to play with a form, let's say actually let's see how we can use props. And if I would like to have what could I create? I don't know. Let's just say that I would like to create some collection and have props here. Now here I'm just gonna return something, let's say collection, and let's say that it's h2 just because, and let's actually check what the props actually are. And here I'm gonna show you. So here, how do you create a collection component like this? And here, let's create some stuff. Let's say that it has, I don't know, a title, my collection, and let's say that it takes a function as a child. And now there is a debugger, but that's fine. And let's say that here, actually no, let's just say that it gets some children. So let's say it gets, no, let's say that it gets a paragraph. My paragraph, I made a typo there. I'm just gonna, yeah, that's much better. And let's say that there is just a string child, and here we are. And props. Now what are props? If we give props, we can see title is here, and there is also an array of children. So a string child is immediately here, but the first one is unusual object, and that object is actually a React component. As you can see, this type P, and it should have children, my paragraph, props children. Here we can see that here, props children. So what if we say to that paragraph span null span in paragraph, and now I format it again, and here we can see props children, and first one is this one. We care about that one, type P, and the type P has props with children, with my paragraph, and the first one is an object again. When I expand it here, then that object is a span which has children. And now that's interesting, because when I say somewhere, maybe here, console log e app, that would mean that here, when I say props e app, it doesn't have props. But inside the app, I could see children as deep as they went. So what did I want to say here? The video is getting too long, 27 minutes already. That's fine. Thanks.